Good evening and welcome to Tigers Roar. I'm Tommy Krysan along with Jordy Holberg. Thank you for checking us out. Spread the roar. Jordy, how are you this week?
I'm great. I'm just salivating here with some of the props that we have, courtesy of Tremonti's.
I will say this: there were more props than there are now.
Yes.
When the
It was
platter
piled about that. It
arrived
was piled about that high, and it shrunk
from
discernibly.
Tremonti's, and now we got boudin balls, boudin wraps, we got catfish, we got some stuff to dip it in. And I've sampled it all. It's very good. And something tells me later tonight there's going to be even less on this platter, and then it'll be an empty platter. We give the platter back to Mike over at Tremonti's. Huh?
Something tells me Leonard Fournette's out on a spending spree as he's going to sign an $11 million bonus after being selected, as you saw, number 4 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So 8 Tigers get drafted, 8 more go as undrafted free agents, but they all hooked up with a team. So congratulations.
There you go. It was a good day. 16 different teams.
Yes.
That was a little ironic, huh?
Yep.
You got 16 guys go to 16 different teams. And Jordy, it has come up. Yes, Traven Durrell signed a free agent deal with the Saints. Some people think he's going to make the team. I don't know, but time will tell. But the old thing, why won't the Saints draft an LSU guy? And you know what? The more the years pile onto that, the more weight behind that argument. But I've maintained for years, when that topic comes up, the Saints and any NFL team, yeah, it matters to them where a guy goes to college, but that's not real high on the list.
No.
It's does he fit and help them win on a Sunday?
Remember the big talk was, oh my gosh, these guys aren't playing in the postseason bowl games. Did that affect Fournette? Did that affect McCaffrey?
No.
I think not. I think not. So I think you're going to start the premier players, unless they're playing in the semifinals or the national championship game, not going to take the chance. The tight end from Michigan, Butts, was supposed to be a second-round pick. He gets hurt. He becomes a fifth-round pick, but he took out an insurance policy, and he made $500,000 off of that. So pretty smart kid.
Yeah, so the draft has come and gone, and, you know, a lot of Saints fans, and we'll have a bunch of stuff for you on that tonight. The LSU guys, 4 other guys Louisiana picked. But all in all, we don't know. Yeah. 2 or 3 years from now is when you can tell whether it was a really, really good draft, unless you get somebody, you know, who goes out there in year 1 and has a year like a Dak Prescott or an Ezekiel Elliott, and then you say that's a solid draft.
What's more trivial? Preseason football polls, NFL mock drafts? What's more? Or ranking a team grading a team's draft. How do you know?
Well, 97 million mock drafts, none of them were right.
No.
And Jordy, I joked about this last week on radio and TV, that when would we see the first 2018 mock draft? I saw it Saturday night, CBSSports.com. A guy had the draft, and I'm thinking, well, how does he even know who the order? He's going on the projected amount of wins for the teams in the 2017 season.
Amazing.
And by the way, I had Arden Key going 4th after 3 quarterbacks. Okay, so the first incorrect mock draft in 2018 is already out.
More to come.
But you know, it gives us a little something to talk about.
It gives people something to read. Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
But it's I don't know.
Because I know you love baseball. I know that's your love. But there's so many great baseball games. You know what's great for baseball and why the commissioner loves what's going on? He's loving this Boston-Baltimore thing. It's front headlines. Now, if this has gone away, maybe they should legalize. Maybe they should create baseball like hockey. Just let them fight. Just let them fight.
Well, rarely do you make contact in a fight, even when the dugouts and the bullpen's empty. As rarely is there a punch thrown. It does happen, but not often.
Chris Sale throwing a fastball at me?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
right after they give the guy Adams a standing ovation because of all the improprieties coming out of some fan's mouth. And then the very next batter, they throw behind Machado. What's up with that?
Well,
timing. Come on.
Oh no, it's
that's ridiculous.
Well,
I know it's baseball.
Well, they're trying to police themselves, whatever. But you know, back to this LSU football thing. I was a little concerned when I read the report this week. Ed Orgeron said Danny Etling can start throwing in 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, you got to think that's on the front end of the time. Mm-hmm. You accurately pointed out anytime you use the word minor, it should not also be in the same sentence with back surgery, right. And that would be for you and I to ride around in a car or sit at this desk, much less play quarterback in the SEC. Am I overcooking it to be concerned?
Oh, I don't think so. I didn't see it, But was there a roughing the quarterback?
No,
penalty?
this was planned prior.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
But didn't they have a roughing the quarterback penalty?
I don't know. I didn't go to the
I think
game.
they did, which is crazy. So, yeah, I think there's something to be concerned. Miles Brennan, graduate. Come on.
Boy, they say he's coming in June.
Yeah,
He's
come
not
on.
waiting all the way to
Let's
August.
see what happens.
I did the math on this. Since Saban took over in 2000, 17
The
years.
$11 million man?
Yeah, 17 years of quarterbacks at LSU. Matt Mark, Matt Flynn, and a very good year by Mettenberger his last year here.
Yeah.
The other 14 years, quarterback position has been a huge question.
And Mettenberger is looking for another job.
Got cut by the
Got
Steelers.
cut. He's done.
Yeah,
He's
so-
done. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, and I did want to throw in a late breaking news. Leonard Tillery, the outstanding running back from Southern, who broke Walter Payton's SWAC career rushing yardage record, signed a free agent deal with the Los Angeles Rams. So good for Leonard Tillery
right. That's
and the Southern
Not to be
program.
confused with Leonard Fournette.
Right, we got
the new
Leonard,
star
Leonard,
running back.
I mean, it's everywhere. you
Well,
know?
Leonard Fournette will now become the latest in the, oh my gosh, what a great spring game, and he'll never see the field.
You're on that, huh? What about, before we go to break, Malachi Dupree? Hindsight's 2020, but
I think nothing against you, Malachi. I think the word was out. A lot of drop passes, maybe not tough enough when it comes to blocking down the field. But if you're going to get drafted later than you expected, is there a better team to go to than Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers and how they like to spread it out? So maybe he becomes one of those guys that like, wow, how did we miss him? I hope.
all right, let me tell you what we got coming up on the program tonight. We got a lot of NFL draft stuff as it pertains to the LSU guys. We've got some Saints angles as well, as the Saints, you know, we all saw what they did. We'll talk about that. A little bit of LSU baseball, no midweek games this week due to exams. And Run for the Roses Saturday in Kentucky.
Love it. Love
the
it.
Kentucky Derby coming up. We got a lot of fun stuff for you here on this week's edition of Tigers Roar.
Can we talk NBA playoffs too, maybe?
We got to talk that. You're here.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's
It's getting close. They're in the conference semifinals
That's it,
now,
man.
right?
Yep,
It's getting close.
getting close. We got some.
What's been to you the most impressive thing, and that could be individual or
Wow.
team, about the playoffs to date? What does you say wow to?
A bunch.
Houston whipping San Antonio the other night.
I think Houston's going to beat San Antonio to advance. I think LeBron has been spectacular. He looks. Here's a guy that knows exactly what to do with his body and how to make sure he's ready and at the right time, and he looks sensational to me.
I'm going to share a quote with you I read this week. And, of course, you traveled in the NBA with the Hornets and Pelicans for countless years. Colin Cowherd said, LeBron James at 80% is better than just about everybody in the league, and if he kicks in the other 20%, it's over. He's the best.
Oh.
Your thoughts on that quote?
He's the best player. I mean, you just hand him the most outstanding, most valuable player because he makes that Cleveland team so good, so good. Again, he just looks fresh. He looks ready to go. This was a team that was limping into the playoffs, and LeBron said, "Don't worry about it. I got you covered. I got you."
Anything on CP3 back to New Orleans?
There's not one player in the history of sport that would take a $50 million pay cut to go play somewhere else.
So that means the answer.
He's
My
staying
question
in
is no.
Clipperland. That's right.
Hey, we're going to get a break in, come back, have some fun on Tigers Roar. We remind you each and every week the original airing is on Wednesday nights. If you're catching this on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, you have a rebroadcast going. But we appreciate you watching when you can. WHNO TV Channel 20 in New Orleans on Fridays at 5 o'clock. ETEL cable system in Ascension Parish, parts of Livingston Parish, Baton Rouge, and soon to be Plaquemine, the ETEL cable system. And mid-morning Thursday, it's on YouTube, where you can watch it at your convenience at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan, we'll come back with more right after this pause. Stay with us. Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source. Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net. We continue with Tigers Roar, and it's time to tell you about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. You got the floor, sir.
It's at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Been in business for over 13 years now. It's grown and grown exponentially. You can take a look at their website to see everything that they have, Tremontis.com, whether it be what they have for daily lunch specials on their menu that they serve every day, their catering opportunities that you can sign up for. Their phone number is 751-7665. Crawfish still in abundance. Mother's Day is a week from this Sunday. Get ready. Treat it just like Easter. Call them at 751-7665 and get in line. Order your crawfish so you make sure that you're in the queue. Every Tuesday, 10 pounds, $24.95. The price of crawfish has come down. Tremonti's price has come down. 10 pounds boiled, ready to go for $24.95. And if you take a look right here, compliments of Mike Tremonti, Dave, and the rest of the staff, they have provided for us tonight a little seafood platter. You can see it right here. We've got some fried catfish. We've got boudin balls. We've got boudin wraps. We've got all kinds of dips to put it in. You've sampled it, Tommy. It's finger licking good.
Absolutely. And whoever came up with the idea said, let's put some batter around some boudin and fry it. That was a plus. Good idea.
Boudin balls. These are the boudin wraps right here, which is pretty darn good. The fried catfish, all fresh, all cooked to order, and it's a very happy crew here at the Pelican this evening.
Yeah, that will be an empty platter at some point a little bit later on.
Tremontis.com. You can see everything they have, including their pre-made meals. You're busy. Your husband works, wife works, kids are at school. You don't feel like cooking. They've got it there for you. All you do is stick it in the oven for 35 minutes, and you're good to go.
All right, Tremonti's highly recommended by everyone.
What's that stuff you love over there?
The sprinkle spice.
You're getting better.
Oh,
You got
man.
it.
I've
You got it.
used the heck out of that stuff. Hey, the NFL draft, we mentioned, is coming and gone. And, you know, Jordy, we get caught up in the media talking about all the different things, the LSU guys, the Louisiana guys, the Saints, the other favorite NFL team. You know, but this is a dream come true for 300 and something guys, you know, not counting the free agents. You know, it's a special thing. It's the best night of their life in, you know, or in many categories, especially as a career goes. So it's such a special thing to these guys, and it's so stressful on some of them, you know, guys who wanting to be drafted and don't get drafted or go much later than they thought. Then you have, you know, the euphoria of you think you're a third-round pick and they grab you in the front end of the second round, and that's it's a special time for a lot of reasons.
NFL does it right. The big winner was the city of Philadelphia. They had over 70,000 people there on the steps of the Rocky statue for opening night. And again, these kids, it transforms their life. They become instant millionaires. We all thought it was a defensive-oriented draft. How many offensive players went in the top 10? My goodness, you make the trade for quarterback. Then here's another quarterback and another quarterback, and you know, just crazy. So the Saints, I think they did okay. They got the cornerback from Ohio State with the 11th pick. They get an offensive tackle at number 32. Thought they were going to get Reuben Foster until the 49ers got back into the first round and they snatched him up. It was interesting, but again, for Leonard Fournette, for you know, Jamal Adams, for Tre'Davious White, for Kendall Beckwith and Duke Riley and Ethan Posick, and Devon Gottschall and Malachi Dupree, 8 players, they get drafted. That's fabulous.
Let's talk about the 3 guys in the first round. First, from St. Augustine High School in New Orleans, Leonard Fournette. You know, Vegas had the over-under on where he was drafted at 4.5. You know, if you thought you had to go under, if you thought one of the first 4 picks, over on the other side of that wager. But he goes forth to Jacksonville. I didn't know if he or Adams would go first, you know, in the order of those two. He went, and your thoughts, Jacksonville, they need all the help they can get. That's the reason why they were picking 4th.
As soon as Tom Coughlin took over control of football operations, if you look at his track record, Brandon Jacobs, Tiki Barber, those teams that were so good that were going to Super Bowls, he loves that running game. He loves that offensive line and the running game. So I thought it was a surefire deal for Leonard Fournette there. I think Jamal Adams, as Odell Beckham said, right city, wrong team. Got 2 LSU players. I think he will play a very prominent role for the Jets. I think it's a perfect fit for him. I think Tre'Davious White at 27 is a steal for Buffalo.
Yeah, I think Adams will play very well for a very long time. That's what it appears to be. And then Tre'Davious White jumps up into the end of the first round, which means a lot of money to him instead of going a little bit later.
$5.5 million signing bonus.
Hey,
thank you very much.
I mean, only Nick Saban's got
that's
more money.
That's for a kid who was sharing a bed with his brother in high school. Now he can buy his brother a king-size bed.
Dream come true.
Yes.
We got some stuff for you on the LSU guys taken, as well as a couple other guys from Louisiana. Here's some NFL draft recap.
With the 4th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Leonard Fournette, running back, LSU.
Well, there he is. Number 7 out of LSU is now the 4th overall pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2nd straight year, by the way, we've had a running back go 4th overall. Ezekiel Elliott to the Cowboys a year ago, and boy, Jacksonville would love to see Leonard Fournette duplicate the success that Ezekiel Elliott had for the Cowboys. He didn't play in 5 games, including the Citrus Bowl. He and Christian McCaffrey decided to sit out those games to avoid injury for their future career. He has a 2-year-old daughter, Lyric, and one of the reasons he said that he was going to sit out that bowl because he has to make sure that he's doing the right thing for his family, including his 2-year-old daughter, Lyric, which is all his Instagram and Twitter feed is about pictures of his daughter. He was a bruising, bashing runner at LSU, Mel. What do you see on the tape?
What do you think about Tom Coughlin? He had Fred Taylor in Jacksonville. Now he has Leonard.
With the 6th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jamal Adams, defensive back, LSU.
Well, as expected when we saw the phone call, it is Jamal Adams. Now, we mentioned his father. Jamal Adams has not signed a contract yet, but he just made a ton of cash. When he was 10 years old, he bet his father. He said, I'm going to go higher in the first round than you. So he just had to beat 19, and he beat it by a mile. That bet when he was 10 was for $50,000. He's still not sure if his dad's going to pay up. But the bottom line is Jamal Adams now has bragging rights over his dad as LSU head coach Ed Orgeron looks on, seeing Jamal Adams going 6th overall, some 13 slots higher than his dad, who went to the Giants 19th overall in 1985.
I think, his reaction says it all. This is a guy who cares. He cares deeply about the game of football. You can tell right there by that reaction, he's a guy who's going to make some people pay for waiting this long to get picked. Look at him here, come from 12 yards deep, crush the crack block, and still make a tackle for a loss. I haven't seen another safety in this draft even come close to doing that. And then it's here, it's smart, playing combination inside-out coverage with the other safety, and he can still make that kind of play. You can walk him out on a wide receiver, on a number 2, number 3 wide receiver, play bump and run. He's going to make plays down the field. Here, again, playing a short zone, curl flat type of coverage. He drops the pick here, but he has so much talent as far as the number of different ways you can utilize him. You put him up near the line of scrimmage and you blitz him, he's going to make plays behind the backfield. Here, he gets a run on the wide receiver. Look, the guy's just going to blow people up, and here, his effort, you never saw him take plays off. This is the kind of thing that Todd Bowles is going to love, the New York fan base is going to love. He's going to kill it in New York as far as the players concerned.
With the 27th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Tre'Davious White, defensive back, LSU.
Smiles all the way around for Tre'Davious White as another member of the LSU secondary is off the board. Tre'Davious White is long, and he makes plays all day long.
Look, when Jamal Adams was up at ESPN, I asked, who on your football team would you bring with you? And this is the first name that he said. He said, this kid is an absolute baller, competitor, professional, all of the superlatives that you can imagine that he threw on his teammate. He's a kid who can play inside, he can play outside. He's just as proficient playing press as he is from off, and he plays to the integrity of the defense, down in and down out. Great feet, good hips, good ball skills, good ball locator skills. He has a willingness to support against the run. He can play zone, great vision. He can catch the football, and then he can return it after that, and he can be a punt kickoff type of returner. This is a kid who, I'm just telling you right now, for my money, as far as being able to play zone, man, and support the run, and be the kind of guy who's going to stay on the football field, who's been a starter for years, who has been very dependable. This is the first corner I would have taken here. And when Jamal Adams put his stamp of approval on him, I said, look, this is the guy who I'm going to put number 1. This is a Sean McDermott type of pick. A guy who's just steady. Doesn't blow you away with his measurables, but he is steady. This is the kind of guy that will play multiple years in the NFL, Mel.
Opposite Ronald Darby, Stephon Gilmore moves on. You think of a guy who can turn and locate the ball. That's what Tre'Davious White does. He stayed for his senior year. He's a veteran in the SEC. He's also, I thought, one of the best 5 punt returners in this draft, so he will help out on special teams as well. Had 6 career interceptions. I thought he played the ball better than people gave him credit for. I like Tre'Davious White. He's NFL ready. Had a couple really good days down in Mobile, then a little injury, but Tre'Davious White staying for his senior year solidified a late first-round grade.
He's a special kid. He's wearing number 18 at LSU for a reason. He's a captain. You said he's a graduate, 4-year starter. This is no rookie corner. And Sean McDermott is an excellent defensive coach, the new head coach of the Bills. He likes to do a lot of different things, coverage-wise, technique-wise, and disguise-wise. Nice pick for Buffalo here in the first round.
He could have been a first-rounder if he had come out last year, but he wanted to get his degree. He stayed for that final year.
Pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Ethan Posick, tackle, LSU.
I can just hear Seahawk fans everywhere saying, it's about time we invest in the offensive line, and they get a good center, Mel.
They do. Pat Elflein from Ohio State, I gave a little bit of an edge to as the top center in this draft. But Ethan Posick, you think about versatility, a 3-year starter, 27 starts at center, 9 at right guard, 1 at left tackle. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. He defines what a swing man will be in the NFL, versatile enough to play just about any spot in a pinch. Saw him get bull rushed. He doesn't play with the proper pad level all the time. Auburn game, what was bothersome in that game, twice he allowed a defender to disrupt the play, not because of technique flaws, because of concentration lapses. Now, he's got talent. He flashed early round ability, but he lacked consistency, and I think Ethan Posick's value is going to be as a guy who can play a variety of positions, Todd.
Yeah, I think with Posick, you have to look at 2015 tape too. He had a hip injury, suffered in August of 2016, and I think that's why his tape this past year wasn't quite as good. He is a smart football player. He tested extremely well on the Wonderlic, and he just understands the game. Great experience, and he's a winner. I mean, the guy was 25 and 12 as a starter at the center position. He understands the game.
With the 75th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select
Duke Riley, linebacker from Duke.
No, he's from LSU, but he's named Duke.
Right.
By the way, if you're a Falcons fan, you're thinking deja vu all over again. That's exactly right. Deion Jones last year in the second round, he replaced Deion Jones on the field this year for LSU.
Yeah, all he did was lead the team in tackles. He had 9 tackles for loss as well. Todd, he's all over the field. Duke Riley may not be that big. He's 6'1", 235 pounds, but he put it all together, and he had a heck of a season for the Bayou Bengals.
It's a pretty good well to go back to, Trey. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
I mean, how about this? It tells you a little bit about his leadership. He was only a full-time starter this past year, and he still was a team captain. Every time I watch this defense, loaded, talent everywhere, this guy's the one always around the ball. Instincts and a 3-down linebacker. I really like this pick, Lewis.
Yeah, you just want
The New York Jets select Elijah McGuire, running back, Louisiana Lafayette. Jets, Jets, Jets!
All right, the Raging Cajun, Elijah McGuire.
If I'm being honest, I thought Elijah Qualls would go before Elijah McGuire if I had that.
You had to pick your Elijah.
If I had a prop there. So Elijah McGuire, I thought, had a little bit of a disappointing season at times this year compared to last year. He had to fight through some injuries. He is a quick cut back. You'll notice him right here. When you watch him, the cuts are sudden. He has the great feet there. He's not a real powerful tackle breaker. And so when he gets into trouble in terms of as an interior runner, I think he's going to go down a little too easily. So what you want to do is get him to the perimeter as quickly as you can. But he does have the ability to make you miss. He has very sudden feet, very quick cut capabilities. You look at what they have with Bilal Powell, and you say, hey, let's give him a little bit of competition here with Elijah McGuire and see what happens.
Behind Matt Forte. Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and we keep going back to the same point with the Jets. I mean, you just look at that roster, and it's pretty hard to figure out how they're going to compete. You would have thought maybe a running back could have been one of their earlier picks. Right. It's not until the 6th round, and they've got Matt Forte and Bilal Powell as their 2 running backs
They trust Forte, and they trust Powell, and that's fine. McGuire is another guy who's going to compete for reps on the team, but without a quarterback, you're almost rudderless. You're a rudderless ship, and they don't have a quarterback right now. The running back is older, obviously. I mean, Powell's a good running back, but Matt Forte is getting to be an older, more weathered running back right now.
Spelled.
I like the wide receivers that they have around them. I think you have some talent.
They drafted quite a
wide
few.
receiver, and we know they have talent on defense. And the one thing I like about the Jets is all that defensive talent. It didn't look like they were buying in completely by the end of the year, but you had a guy like Jamal Adams, who's that alpha in the locker room, and then Marcus May, who's another back-end guy who could come in and maybe compete for a starting role early on. And they can still win games with their defense.
Yeah.
The talent's there.
Well, and that's something that can be said about the
189th pick of the 2017 NFL Draft. The Los Angeles Rams select
Tanzel Smart, DT Tulane.
Defensive tackle for Tulane.
All right, Lance, your alma mater, the Green Wave of Tulane and Tanzel Smart. We just finished talking about Matt Forte, another Green Wave.
Tanzel Smart is a 3rd-round talent who's going in the 6th round because he's a squatty body. 6 foot and about 5'8".
They know anything about that in Los Angeles?
Yeah, they know about it a little bit. But let me tell you now, he is a really, now his hand usage, first of all, you're going to see everything's an upward strike. So he's playing in a position of leverage every single time. And he is a relentless pass rusher. Wade Phillips likes guys who get up the field. It's a one-gap type of 3-4. It's not even really, it's 4-3 under is what he likes to run. And Smart makes sense because he is a disruptive interior pass rusher. I think Tanzel Smart is one of the more active interior rushers that you're going to find. It's kind of rare to get a good rusher on the inside. And if he had a little bit more, a longer build, we're talking about a much higher draft pick. So talent-wise, I think he is a day 2 player, but physical traits, I think, bumped him down in the 6th round.
Again, it's a very special night. It's a dream come true. Like you point out, White sleeping in the bed with his brother through high school because that's just what the family had to do. I mean, I know there's a couple of bad stories in the draft and some baggage on lots of guys, but I prefer to focus on those good stories and the guys who got, didn't play until they were a junior, then they just made themselves better. I mean, I'm all about the good part of it.
And some of these teams don't even look at that baggage. If you can play, they feel like they can rehabilitate you off the field. They want your production on the field. Mr. Irrelevant, though, Chad Kelly, took a phone call from John Elway to his uncle, Jim Kelly, who said he's a good kid. And Elway scooped him up as Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. And before the season started, everybody thought he might be the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft.
A little injury, but the draft began with a SEC player, Garrett from A&M, ended with Kelly from Ole Miss, and to no one's surprise, or not shouldn't be, more SEC players taken than any other conference.
Of course.
We're going to take a break, come back. We got some reaction from some of those LSU guys about being drafted and what it felt like and getting that phone call. Again, it's got to be a super exciting thing. We'll have all that and more for you after this pause. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Christ, and spread the roar. This is Tigers Roar. Stay with us.
Can I eat this?
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
If you've been injured in an accident and you won your case, we can get you your cash fast.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
If you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, Penn Funding can get you paid in one lump sum.
Instead of my small monthly payments, Penn Funding got me my money when I needed it the most.
Turn your small monthly settlement payments into one large cash payoff right now. If your case is settled, you qualify. And no one can get your money faster than Penn Funding. There's no risk, obligation, or out-of-pocket cost when you make this life-changing call.
I called, answered the questions, and received my cash payoff quickly.
Need cash for your children? To fix your car, pay the bills. If your case is settled and you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, it's your money. Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-825-1325, 800-825-1325.
We continue with Tigers Roar. You know, it's a lot of great stories like we were talking about. And, you know, for the LSU fans, we've got some stuff on some of the LSU guys and talking about, you know, their personal experience with this draft. It's something they'll never forget. They'll tell their kids, they'll tell their grandkids. If they're a coach one day, they'll tell their players. I mean, it's going to go on forever and ever. It's a special,
Dreams
special
come
thing.
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got, we do this in two different parts. We got Jamal Adams, Tre'Davious White, and Duke Riley talking about the draft, and we'll come back a little bit later. You'll hear from Leonard Fournette. But right now, let's start it off with Jamal Adams talking about the NFL draft from his perspective.
But as well as just staying positive, just keeping your head down and always grinding. I haven't seen him since the pictures, but I know he's excited. It's crazy that he played for the Giants, and now I'm a Jet, so he's not afraid to tell the Giants fans that he's a part of the Jet family now. So he's definitely right now as we speak. I'm pretty sure he's bleeding green and white. Say it again. Oh, it's unreal. You don't realize how big the media is, in New York. We used to have a house in Hackensack up there. My mom's from Yonkers, New York. My sister's from Jersey. Pops played up there, and now I'm playing up there. So it's an amazing feeling. Everything happens for a reason. This night, means everything to not only LSU, but to my teachers, the staff, everybody at LSU. I can't thank them enough. Definitely gonna miss everybody. The 3 years went by fast, and all I can say is, go Tigers. I'm definitely gonna miss everybody.
My man.
Yeah, so the red carpet was definitely the first time for me. So, I had to do it big with the suit on the red carpet. I felt like I was the best dressed. Nobody can compete with me. Jay Lombardo, back home in Dallas, he made the suit custom made head to toe with the Aldos on my feet. So for me to sit here and tell you that I wasn't the best dressed, I would be lying to you. I definitely was planning on, being the best dressed. I definitely told everybody I was going to be the best dressed. Maybe they thought I was lying, but now they see. So it's great, man. The first NFL paycheck is going straight to the Chase Bank. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one right here, I'm not spending. Trust me. I might look fly, quality over quantity. I promise it's going in the bank. Thank you.
Y'all doing great. I can't tell y'all how grateful I am for the opportunity, how happy I am for myself and my family. The couple hours I've been here, I've met some great people. I can tell this town is passionate about their bills, and I'm looking forward to making their time a little more easy and helping this franchise get the ball rolling with this new coaching staff. And I'm looking forward to coming in and earning all my stripes and earning the respect of the vets and the guys that's already here. I'm just looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys for coming in. I just feel I can bring some depth to this secondary. We already have some great players, some players that I've watched for some time. And Michael Hyde, I watched him when he was in Green Bay. I watched Ronald Darby when I was in college. When he was at Florida State, he was another guy. And then we have Jordan Pryor here too. So it's definitely some guys that I've watched when I was at LSU, and I'm looking forward to just coming in and just adding to the great players that we already have. It means a lot just to know, we've been through, a lot of trials, and we've been through a lot. So just to have them there last night with me to share that fabulous moment, it meant the world to me, and it's something that I'm cherished for a lifetime. The thing about playing defensive back at LSU is it's like a brotherhood. It's like a fraternity. The guys like Patrick and Tyron and Craig Stelz and Ryan Clark and Eric Reed, I can go on and on. You have guys that genuinely care about their room or care about the young guys that's in the room, and whenever you have that, it just motivates you more to do great things on the field and off the field, because whatever you do, those older guys are watching and they're calling back, and they want to know how those LSU DBU brothers are doing. It's a lot of them, but just probably my junior year in high school, my mom wasn't there to watch me play my whole junior year, and that's the year where I took that next step as a player. I was able to go out. They tried me at quarterback, and I was able to play quarterback, and I got recruited. I started getting recruited, and LSU offered me a scholarship, and that was a big deal. And my mom wasn't there to cherish that moment with me, so I waited. I wanted to commit on the spot, but my mom wasn't there, so I waited and I waited. Once she got home, I said, yeah, we're going to do it this time. We're going to do it the right way. And I had all my family there, and I wanted her to be able to, share that experience with me. And she was there when I committed to LSU, and I had my whole family there. It was a great time. I just want to be different. My mindset was different. Growing up, I had a lot of family members and a lot of my best friends go the wrong route. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, like you'll hear me say, you're gonna hear me say over and over again. My purpose is to motivate and inspire. That's what I wanted to do. My mindset was, I'm not, just because I'm in this situation, I'm not gonna stay here. Just because I'm living this certain way, I'm not gonna live this all my life. So each and every day, my mom and my dad can tell you, I worked out probably 3 times a day growing up, just getting up, doing my extra, and then going to the school, doing the workout, then after coming home and doing my own thing. So it was bigger than football. I wanted to, pretty much do the best of both worlds, getting my degree. And the kids in my community seeing me do that, going back and passing on money, they'll be like, well, it's not all about that. He's different. He's a guy that, we can pretty much learn from, and he can inspire us to get a degree also. It's not all about just playing sports and just be known as an athlete.
Crystallizing.
My whole deal, I want to be one of the best to go down and play defensive back. And I feel like, early in my career, for me, in my rookie year, to match up against those guys is a good stepping stone. It's a good, a good learning curve. I feel like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna compete well, and I'm gonna try to make it hard for those guys. I know that those are guys that are Pro Bowl guys and future Hall of Famers. So for me to come in and be able to compete and do it against those guys, it's definitely a privilege.
It was crazy, indescribable feeling right now that's going on. I'm just so excited right now to be a part of the Atlanta Falcons organization. I feel like they got the best guy in the draft just now. They got the best. I'm gonna be the best teammate, be the best player. I'm gonna bring the most energy on the field, and I just can't wait to get out there and go win the Super Bowl with these guys, man.
Is it a combination of relief, excitement, everything?
Everything you can imagine right now.
You see what happened was?
My heart was beating so fast when I got called. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? It's just the best feeling in the world right now. I'm in this position because of work, and that's what I'll continue to do. I didn't come this far just to say, hey, I made it. I can't wait to get out there and just show those guys that they got the right one.
Your phone rang a lot tonight. Guys calling you. When you realized there was a team, when you realized it was Atlanta, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, my phone was ringing the whole night. I was just telling people, don't call me, stop calling me, leave me alone right now, But once I saw the GA on there, I was like, Falcons? I'm like, me and Debo, that's all I was thinking about. Me and Deion, man, I can't wait to get out there. It's gonna be so fun. My brother, man, I get to play next to a guy I basically grew up with, played against him in high school, and now I'm back with him. He's gonna hopefully next to me, So I mean, it's a huge deal right now, man. I'm just very excited to be in this position.
We also had Quan here tonight. I mean, when you talk about that inside linebacker tradition at LSU, you talked about Quan first, and then Debo, and then you kind of come in. Donnie was even here for part of the night. What do you mean to have Quan here?
Man, it means the world, to have my brother Quan here, my brother Donnie. We all share the same thing. We all share the same bond. We come from the same place. We cut from the same cloth, man. And it just feels great. That's just the tradition we have over there at LSU. I have more than just Donnie. I have a few guys here that just came to support me, man. It's just the family atmosphere we have over there at LSU, and that's what we steady building and creating.
Go back 4 years when you were almost going to TCU. LSU comes in almost the day before signing day. Did you picture this day 4 years ago?
I've always pictured this, I've always pictured this moment. I always saw myself sitting right here and standing right where I'm at. Because I always knew the work that I put in would always pay off, Everything happens for a reason. I'm right here in this position. I got drafted to Atlanta Falcons for a great reason, and they got a great guy. Indescribable. I'm sorry. Scratch that. Sensational.
What'd you say?
Sensational.
All right, good stuff right there. And we're going to go to a break, come back, tell you a little bit about radio in Baton Rouge and Jordy's show in Lafayette, and we'll hear from Leonard Fournette. You got something to add?
I think Duke Riley's
going to
be a tremendous NFL player with Debo Jones. I hate seeing him go into the Falcons. I think he's going to be tremendous.
Speed.
Oh, speed, and he gets there quickly, and he hits pretty authoritatively. I think it's a great pickup by the Falcons. I really do.
Saints got to play in place.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with much, much more. Tigers Roar. Stay with us.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-779-1032, 800-779-1032.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis. Not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
About WUBR, CBS Sports Radio affiliate in Baton Rouge. Tune in. We got our own app. Search Pelican Sports Radio, WUBR AM 910, home of the Jim Rome Show. The local lineup includes the gentleman on my left, Jordy Hultberg. A couple more weeks of talking baseball with Coach Roger Cador on Mondays. Buddy Sanji, myself, Dave Scandaliato, who will preview the Kentucky Derby this Friday. Carlos Brown on Saturday, Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio, hosted by Mike Shepard at nighttime. Select Houston Astros ball games on the air for you. So check it out, get the app, and get us and take us wherever you go. CBS Sports Radio in Baton Rouge. Jordy, you have a program in the Lafayette Market in the afternoons. Tell us all about it.
Very fortunate enough, from 2 to 4 on 103.7 FM, KLWB. They're very similar. They got the apps just like we are fortunate enough to have at WBR, so look for 103.7 The Game, Acadiana's sports station, 2 to 4, and very thankful to be able to be up in Acadiana. Some great fans up there.
Well, and Leonard Fournette was the first LSU Tiger taken in the draft in the 4th slot to Jacksonville. Yeah, we heard about Leonard Fournette when he was in 8th grade. There's about to be a guy at St. Aug that's going to be good. And then, you know, he's been well known all 4 years at St. Aug, the 3 years at LSU. Here's a lot from Leonard Fournette about the NFL draft.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be here. It's my newest family, man. Both of my coaches, man, they introduced me as well. When I first came here, when they wanted to come visit here, it was a blessing, man. And going in and meeting the players, you know, started from the bottom, man. You know, I'm like a freshman again. So it was a blessing just to be here in this position, and I'm just ready to work.
Hey, Leonard, Ryan O'Halloran from the Times-Union. You made the visit here earlier this month. How much did that help you sort of match some names with faces here today?
I mean, it was pretty good. You know, it's coming in. It was a great vibe with all the coaches, some of the players, and it went well.
Leonard, John Reed from the Times-Union. You come from the 7th Ward. I'm familiar with that. But can you talk about just what you overcome and your humbleness and different things that kind of your character as a person and giving back to the community? Where did all that come from? And was it what you seen when you were growing up to make yourself humble? Can you talk about that?
Well, I said the humbleness come from my mother and my father. You know, I mean, I was taught like that since a kid. You know, just stay humble, remain who you are. And I say my environment made me who I am. You know, I grew up in a tough environment, you know, but I didn't let the outcome of that change me, made me to another person. You know, I always stuck to my roots, my foundation, and stood there.
Mark Long with AP. There's always been this unbelievable pressure on you coming out of high school, at LSU, now a top pick. Does some of that end now, or do you feel it still to perform as a rookie?
I mean, to me, the hype never got to me. You know, the pressure never got to me either. I mean, my job as a football player before anything. You know, that's something I've been doing since a kid. You know, that's something I love to do, is to come out here and play football. So, I mean, the individual stuff is going to take care of itself. I mean, it's the team first now. You know, that's what it's always been about for me. You know, from high school to college and to now.
Doug, you mentioned last night, that you talked to a lot of people about Leonard. What was there a story that really stood out about the kind of person and pro he can be?
I think, you know, a lot of things. You know, having lived down there in New Orleans for a while, and having such great amount of respect for the people there, and really trying to have a good understanding of the situation. And I think, first of all, I think all of us know, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank, you know, Leonard's family, you know, Leonard and Lori, you know, for the job that they've done. You know, it's, you know, we sit here and we see the finished product, but, you know, the family, you know, created that foundation, you know, to be able to, you know, make the right choices, make good decisions, you know, surround yourself with people that care. And I think that's important because it's very simple or very easy, you know, for us, you know, people that have grown up in inner city to kind of lose track. And it's one split decision, one split second, and it can throw your whole career off. So, you know, the amount of discipline that goes into that is outstanding. And I don't know if it was any one particular story, but I know that, you know, with Leonard having had all that pressure on him from when he was young, being identified young, and be able to not let that get to his head. I think my favorite story, though, and I told Leonard, is that, you know, he likes tough coaching. Well, I told him, I said, I can't wait. You know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I told his parents that too. So, and I think that's important too. I mean, you know, someone that wants to be coached hard, I think all players should have that mentality. I think that, you know, all players should feel that, you know, they're going to make a difference. I think all players feel that, you know, they can be that player to take it over, but at the same point, knowing that you're a team. And I think that's important. And when you're part of a team, you know, it's going to take everyone in the room and not just one person.
Mike Drocka with ESPN. Leonard, can you be the guy that sets the tone on this offense in terms of, you know, physicalness and toughness?
I mean, most definitely, man. But, I mean, when you say physical, that start with the offensive lineman first. You know, everything goes through them. You know, I mean, they block for me. block for the quarterback. I mean, everything starts with them. So when those guys are right, you know, and I know they're ready, I mean, mentally and physically, they're going to get me ready.
Dave, you've invested heavily in the running back position since you've been here. A lot of other teams have kind of moved away from having featured backs and heavy emphasis on the running game. Why is the running back position so important to you?
Well, I think you look at success around the league, and it is important to be able to run the ball, not only for the offensive side of the ball, but for the defensive side of the ball. You want to control the time of possession, control the clock, be able to control the line of scrimmage, and when you have that, you can close out games. And we've been a victim of losing some close games in the last 2 years, and within a touchdown. You know, I think we were 10 last year and lost a handful of games in the last 2 minutes. And if we can get into a 4-minute drill and we can run the ball, we'll be more successful.
Hey, Dave, some players you really have to project, you really have to pour over their tape. Was Leonard sort of not so much an easy scout, but was it an easy projection to see how he would translate to this level?
Well, we knew he'd be a running back, so that part was easy. But, you know, and I said this last night, I think generally when you see somebody with the history of Leonard, where highly successful in high school, highly successful the minute they stepped on campus at a major level of competition, now generally they're successful at this level, but it's really up to him and for him to come in and put his best foot forward and put in the work. And if he does that, I think we'll be all right.
Last night you mentioned a successful rookie season will be going to the Super Bowl. Kind of create a little bit of a stir with that. Did you say that because you know that's exactly what Tom Coughlin wants to hear, that winning is the number one, or that anyone wants to hear that winning is the number one priority for this franchise after what it's gone through over the last decade?
I mean, any player wants that for themselves and for the team. You know, that's not just, I mean, I mean it's 39 up, but that's my goal. You know, my whole life, you know, I came from a winning program at LSU, and I mean, high school, I mean, I come from a winning foundation, you know, so I think it's time to get back on that track. You know, I think that's what Jacksonville need, championships, you know, so I think I'm the guy for the job.
Jordy, your forecast on the success of Leonard Fournette in the NFL?
Running back's as good as his offensive line and as good as his quarterback. Nobody fears Blake Bortles. The offensive line for Jacksonville getting better. I just don't want to see the Jaguars run him into the ground early. You know, let's extend his career. But I think he's good enough to be an impactful player from day one.
He's got the size, the speed, the strength, and we'll see. Most everybody thinks he'll be very successful. I've read a few naysayers, but I think that's the case for any player.
That's the team he's going to.
Somebody's always going to say. So, yeah, you know, everybody talks about Ezekiel Elliott did it. Well, the Cowboys are the best offensive line in the NFL, so that contributed to his success.
No question.
We'll see how Leonard does down in Jacksonville. I know the St. Aug folks in New Orleans and the LSU fans will be keeping tabs on that.
No doubt.
All right, Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Chrysan, we always enjoy giving you Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. Watch us whenever you can. We've got a whole lot more. Do stay with us.
Got your hand on camera.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
All right, we continue with Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan with you. Thank you for watching. Spread the roar. We appreciate you watching us on the original airing on Wednesday night or one of the replays or youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. And much to my surprise, there's still a lot of food on this platter, but that's not going to be for long.
That's crew is busy working, but it's still fresh, still good to go. We've got fried catfish, we have boudin balls, we have boudin wraps, we got stuff to dip it in, all mouth-wateringly good. Just part of the many things that Tremonti's offers 6 days out of the week. They take Sunday off, but the rest of the time they're ready for you.
All right, let's talk a little LSU baseball. We had a lot of football, a lot of NFL draft stuff in the previous hour. We got some more draft with the Saints coming up, but LSU baseball, they go play Alabama. You know the old saying, you are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
Well, Bama's record's awful, and they were awful.
What's happened to them?
No players.
They're terrible.
I watched a bunch different parts of the games over the weekend, and they just not good.
You know, LSU's honoring the 1997 national championship team this weekend when they take on South Carolina. Who did LSU beat to win the SEC the national championship game that year? It was Alabama.
Right.
Beat them like a drum, but Alabama used to be very prevalent. They've fallen off the earth.
Well, the thing is, LSU had to go to Tuscaloosa, but they're so bad that didn't matter.
Right.
They had to win 3, and they did, albeit extra innings in the third game. They got the job done in that third game, extra innings 4-3, and now they come home for 8 straight, an 8-game homestand. And if for some reason LSU doesn't host a regional, that's your last chance to see the Tigers. 30-15 overall. 13-8 in the SEC. 3 big ones with South Carolina coming up.
Very big games, and South Carolina is always good. It's amazing. You got 7 teams, 5 in the West, 2 in the East, all separated by 1 game. So there's a lot to play for. Paul Mainieri came out, and you'll know about this. He said he's done something he's never done before in his 35 years of coaching. They had runners at first and third, I think, or 2 on. Michael Papierski's up. It's a 3-0 count, and he calls for a hit and run. Said he's never, ever done that before. He thought that the Alabama pitcher would groove one because he thought Papierski would be holding, and Papierski certainly delivered. They scored a run, and that was the difference in the game.
Sometimes you got to do that. I mean, you get a little gut instinct, and you go ahead and do it. And, you know, it's unorthodox, no question about that. But it works, so it's a good call.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
If it doesn't work, he lines into a double play. You know, it's not a good call. But the bottom line is they had to go win 3.
Yep.
They did win 3,
Yep.
albeit against Alabama. It's still a conference game. It is on the road. Well, we got some highlights and a recap of that Alabama sweep over in Tuscaloosa. Here's some LSU baseball for you right here.
Short at third base, and he is late. Bo Jordan, not known for his speed, but known for his hustle, is able to leg one out to get things started for LSU. And a soft liner gets past Chandler Avan into left field. That's now a 7-game hit streak for Cole Freeman. So they're looking to sacrifice and taken out by advancing Jordan. Instead, a base hit. And LSU has 2 on with nobody out. Coombs had a great series against Kentucky. That was a very offensive series for both sides. He drove in 4, and he's going to get an RBI here with a shot through the left side. And LSU strikes first. 3 singles in this first inning. And Coombs makes it 1-0 LSU. And there's a curveball again to third. Smith goes to Freeman for 1. On to first, and LSU, the best fielding team in the SEC.
We're just trying to bring a lot more energy at the beginning part of the game and get off to a fast start. And I mean, we really should have had more than 3 runs in that first. Awesome play.
Whenever you get a lead right off in the first inning, it's a good feeling. You go out there and you kind of have your nerves kind of settled. You just pitch to the lead. And this offense has been great for me all year, and I think that we're starting to click. And early leads are awesome, so it's a big game changer when you're playing with an early lead rather than fighting back at the end or a tight game.
And that one's looped into left field. Would have been a base hit either way. Drives home Nick Coombs, and LSU's got a 2-run lead.
It sets the tone for the weekend. I mean, I don't think that the game was as out of hand as it looks at the end of it. When you look at the box score, it was a tight game all the way there until the last inning. So I mean, that's a good job for our hitters putting it out of reach.
High to center. McClaney is there. Coming in from left is Taylor. Nobody gets to it. They lose it in the gloaming, and they get a force at third. Able to get Bo Jordan. It's going to get a run home on your typical 8-5 pop out. Chandler Taylor goes down looking. It's strikeout number 7 now for Alex Lang. And he goes down swinging. Another K for Lang. The throw to first by Papierski finishes off. It's the 9th K of the game for Alex Lang. The 2-2. And that's strike 3 called. He drops a hammer on Chandler Taylor. Double-digit strikeouts for Alex Lang. Yes.
Great players through the years, believe me. In 35 years of coaching, a lot of special kids. But I don't think I've had anybody that has more pride in himself than Jared Poche. When he rolled his ankle, that was my concern, is that he was going to have to come out of the game. And, for him to go out there and give us 5+ innings was really amazing on a bum ankle and, coming off of a couple of tough outings. So, yeah, he was the key to the game for us until, of course, we handed the ball to Zach Hess, and then Zach Hess became the key to the game.
Had a great team win tonight. A lot of guys contributed. That was a heck of a play by Cole Freeman before I came out. But, yeah, I mean, this really puts our team in a good chance to sweep the series tomorrow, and we know we're going to have our work cut out for us, and we can't take our foot off the gas now, so we've got to keep going. I mean, anytime you can take some pressure off your defense, because usually when you're coming into the game as a reliever, it's everyone's kind of on their toes, and it's a very high-stress situation. So, I mean, our guys are anxious as it is, so anytime you can take some pressure off your defense by striking a guy out, I think that's really big. So definitely try to do that as much as I can.
He came back after an off outing against Tulane, of course. I just think when you have kids that do those things, it shows some special character about them. They don't feel sorry for themselves. They don't hang their head. They don't lose confidence, that they just get back out there. And when you have guys that do that, you have something special with those young men.
I definitely think that Tuesday as a whole was a big gut check for this team going into this series. I think everyone kind of realized that we're at the end of the run here, and that if we really want to do what we want to do, then we're going to have to start making some things happen. So yeah, I think coming into this series, everyone was really focused. The dugout's been really loud, and all our guys have been competing their butt off. So I think that's been huge for us this series.
Now Papierski hits that one deep. Nobody's going to get that except the guy in the right field seat. So long, goodbye. What a shot by Michael Papierski, giving LSU some breathing room. Nobody was near that except the guy out in the right field seats. For Papierski, home run number 4 of the season. It was a boomer.
Man, have a day. You're talking on base all 5 times tonight, and you're right, no doubter. Once he gets a hold of this, just too much of the middle. He knew it was gone.
Here, like Coach says, get the first win, get the second win the series, and then, we were lucky enough to get the third. They played. You got to tip your hats to Alabama. They played really well this weekend. They're a really good team. They got, great players. Our pitchers kept us in the game, and it came up with some big hits.
I'm really proud of the guys, and it's hard when you're expected to win and people expect you to win all these games. It's difficult. These guys are good ball players too, and so it was 3 tough games and hard-fought games, and we were able to come out on top of all 3 of them. It's big for us going forward to this home stretch now.
I got a fastball and just put a barrel on it, but like I said, the pitchers kept us in the game. Eric kept us in the game. I know he gave those 2 runs, but he pitched his butt off. Bush came in, threw really well. Gilbert threw really well, and then Newman came in and shut the door like he always does. It's just the big team win right here. Hopefully we're going to go from here and gives us momentum for going into the next.
Jordy, on the baseball thing, 3 series left in the conference. As you said, everybody's jumbled in there. There'll be some scoreboard watching. And it's always been said in college baseball, play your best baseball in May and June. Right. June, hopefully it's in Omaha where you're playing. Right. And this LSU team still has its goals in front of them. Right. But there's a tough road to hoe. A mediocre South Carolina team, their ace pitcher's out for the year with Tommy John surgery. That hurts them a little bit. 10-11 in league play coming in. But then it's Auburn, who's doing far better than anyone expected.
At home.
And then in Starkville. And that could have all kind of ramifications in the West, the SEC, postseason, national seeds, the whole thing, but ground to cover between now and then. We'll see if this team can make it happen here in May.
It makes it interesting. I like the fact that it's jumbled up. And as you said, if LSU takes care of their business, but they've got to control the home field, and then let's see what happens when they have to hit the road to Starkville. Interesting scenario with Andy Cannizaro being there. Got to be a candidate for Coach of the Year in the conference without a doubt. Maybe even nationally.
Mangini at Kentucky might be a little ahead of him.
Well, he's still a candidate.
They both have done far better than people thought.
With 9 games to go, we'll
maybe
see.
They'll share the award, something like that. Hey, want to take a quick look at LSU softball. Coach Beth Torina's team, they're a little bit ahead of things on the schedule. 37-15 overall, 11-10 in league play. Last series before the Southeastern Conference tournament, got beat by Missouri at the end of last week. They go to South Carolina for 3 conference games this weekend.
It's the only sport I know of that has their draft before the regular season ends, and they had 2 softball players taken in the first round. So. Good for them. But, at 11-10, I think Beth Torina's got to be a little bit disappointed. But if you get hot at the right time, the goal, of course, is to get to Oklahoma City.
Well, and they've been there twice lately, so two times in a row lately. So we'll see if Beth Torina's Lady Tigers can turn it around a little bit. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into some of that those New Orleans Saints. Remember them?
I do.
They had like 2 picks in the first round, and
I think
they picked a bunch of injured guys.
With free agency and the draft, we'll see what happens.
You're fired up? You're thinking good things about the Saints?
I think they'll be better, yes. Well, but I think every team in that conference got a little bit better, too.
Well, and the Falcons were in the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Not bad.
I think the Falcons got a little bit better, too. So.
We'll take a break and come back with a whole lot more of Tigers Roar right after this pause. Spread the roar.
It's a mailbag.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make 1 monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-471-9811. 800-471-9811.
DLA Painting Incorporated is your company for professional painting, serving the greater Baton Rouge area and South Louisiana for over 20 years. Ready to paint for those recovering from flood, residential repaint, commercial painting, any size job, free estimates. Customer satisfaction is our highest priority. Call 225-505-8785. DLA Painting Incorporated, fully insured. Call Dennis at DLA Painting at 225-505-8785.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. Beautiful views of Cypress Lake. 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments are available. Stop by and see Cypress Lake Apartments. Give them a call at 225-293-6789 or visit online, cypresslake-apartments.net.
All right, we continue with Tigers Roar here on this Wednesday. We appreciate you being tuned in. If you're catching a replay, that's good. The food on the platter is going down. No, I'm gonna get, don't worry. I'm gonna have a to-go box.
Okay, to-go box.
Yeah, the to-go box. Jordan, in the New Orleans Saints, you said you think they're getting a little bit better. They got no choice. Yep. Falcons were in the Super Bowl and still got a lot of great players on that team. Carolina did well in the draft.
McCaffrey and Cam Newton.
Tampa
Bay gets O.J. Howard, the tight end, and
added some players down there. And Kendall Beckwith went down to going down to Tampa, and I think if he can stay healthy, he's on the field. So I think the Saints have their work cut out for them.
Yes, they do.
I think people are tired of the 7-9. I will say they're not going back to the Greenbrier Resort up in West Virginia. They'll train out on Airline Highway in Metairie. I think that's a good thing for a lot of reasons, and maybe they can help create some excitement by training there, because they'll have certain portions of workouts when fans can go. Put them in the little bleachers there. I mean, Saints fans are very passionate. They're going to get out there.
Once again, if they can just improve incrementally defensively, I'm not saying going from 30th or 28th to 1st or 2nd. Let's be middle of the pack. I'm very curious to see the Adrian Peterson pickup. They get Alvin Kamara, who's going to be kind of their satellite back, their Reggie Bush, Darren Sproles. I liked him out of Tennessee. I thought he was terrific. So Sean Payton has a couple of toys he can play with there. Maybe that elongates Drew Brees' career. Maybe he can hand the ball off a little bit more with Ingram and Peterson and Kamara coming out of the backfield. So the offense is going to be fine, I believe. I think the defense can't get any worse. So fingers crossed that they can do something.
I had a friend of mine while the draft was happening. He tweeted, Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, now they draft Kamara. What are they going to do, run the wishbone?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I mean, he said it like as soon as the name came up. He said, what are they going to do, run the wishbone? I thought it was quick thinking, clever. Now, Sean Payton, as you made reference to, Mickey Loomis, they've been the front office head coach's team, and very successful about the first half of the tenure, and it produced a Super Bowl champion and some really good drafts. Now, here's their thoughts and comments. Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis on this year's draft.
How much do you think he did that?
Well, we're going to find out. We'd like to think that, we'd like to think we have. I'm quite certain we have. To what degree we'll get a better feel for. We've hit a number of positions. A lot of times, I heard you talking with Mickey yesterday, a lot of times, your priority or a must might not come to you in the first round. Cornerback was a must position, so we were able to do that with a player that we're excited about. And so managing that board and making sure you're getting the value is extremely important. I think Jeff Ireland and his staff, the scouts, done a great job. And Jeff's someone who's very experienced at this process, and I think this is his third draft here with us, and he's been a tremendous asset. So we're excited about the way things fell. I know most teams are. They always are at this time of the year. But looking down at the list and just seeing, where and how we were able to acquire these guys. The Kamara pick, for instance, essentially this year's 3 is worth next year's 2. There's a little bit of, so it was pretty easy. It was really another 3rd round selection. That's the value as trades take place. If you're talking about a pick this year and then, or talking about a future pick, generally you skip down 1 round. So we felt like there was tremendous value in that acquisition. We were all there for the pro day and had dinner and spent time with them. We felt like we had a pretty good handle on our evaluation with him. There are a handful of reasons why someone might come in. We may not have had the exposure postseason. Maybe it would be a medical. Maybe there'd be more character or makeup that we want to go through, and so. But clearly, with him, we didn't feel the need to.
Sean, was there a realistic possibility that you would have considered a quarterback today, or you didn't think the draft was going to fall?
Listen, I think being true to the board and looking closely at how you have players graded, I think that when you have 2 picks, you have a little bit of flexibility, and we feel like a number of needs, and we felt like we got a good start on addressing those today.
And would you have considered Reuben Foster with that last pick if there was one?
We would have. We spent a lot of time in his evaluation. He was in a few weeks ago. We spent a lot of time with him, and yet he was one of the higher graded players. Obviously, I think for a lot of people. But yeah, he was definitely someone that would have been. And we were discussing and we were discussing Ryan. Tack, was another player we were discussing, and just like other teams, there were a handful of these players that just went off the board there later at the end of that round, and it worked out well.
Will your vision? Sorry if you already said this. Your vision for Ramsick at right tackle?
We see him as a tackle. He'll probably come in, and we look at him as a right tackle.
Why would he have been rated higher than, say, the best pass rusher you had at that time?
Well, there's a considerable jump. Our grade on Ryan was at the top half of round 1, inside of a grade of 115, and the pass rushing, the next pass rusher grade would be somewhere tomorrow. I mean, there was a big gap, so we weren't going to go away from just a clear gap in grades. And he was a player graded in the first round by every one of our scouts, and so we felt good about that.
Yeah, I think, that'll be determined, coming out of training camp. But the thing about this kid is that, look, he's a ball hawk. He's had 10 interceptions, in the last 2 years, and he's, again, a really smart player. That's a theme here that we've got, and we're excited about, is that, man, these players we're getting are really smart players, instinctive, a playmaker. And so a guy that can be, with time, be the quarterback of the defensive back end. So excited to have him.
How is he different from Von Bell?
Well, I think Von's probably a little more of I would say Von's more of a dual safety. He can play the back end, play strong safety. This guy's more of a free safety, sideline to sideline, ball hawk. Basically, he finds a way to get his hands on the ball and turn the ball over, and he's done that in Utah, and we're expecting him to do that for us.
The way the top of the draft went yesterday, do you think teams were just more likely to go after positions that maybe weren't as deep because they thought they could get those other positions later?
I don't know that. I think, man, you spend so much time creating a board, and look, we're all grading the same players, and yet each of our boards are a little different. And I think you just follow your board. That's what you do, and you trust it. And yeah, sometimes there's this consideration of, look, we may be able to get a player at a position a little later, but you're not going to deviate by any kind of margin, when you do that. We helped our football team.
What is it about that running back role that's so important to you guys?
Well, look, that's been a key element in our offense over the last 11 years, and Sean and our offensive coaches have a great ability to take advantage of the type of talent that Alvin and the predecessors here have had, and so to fill that role with a player of this caliber, we're pretty excited about it.
Did you expect?
Obviously we were. That's why we went and made a trade to come and get it.
Did you expect him to be available that late in the draft?
No, absolutely not. That's a player that we had much higher on our board and really talked about much earlier. We went a different direction, but look, we tried for a lot of picks to get back into an area where we could take him, and it took a while. It took longer than what we thought it would, but he was still available, so we're excited about that.
Talking about the Adrian Peterson, Alvin, would you still have wanted to bring in a veteran that plays that first and second down? Or you see those as two different positions, or you ended up with more running backs than you expected?
No, I think that we've always had runners, and we've had this one, specialty back, I would call it, that over the years that Sean will have a great vision for. And look, all this will sort itself out, and as we get to training camp, and it seems like you can't have enough backs in the NFL. So
Not until you took.
There were guys that we had our eye on, and man, they started going, and it seemed like the guys that we talked about, the value we were at, they just weren't there at each pick, and so it's just the way it fell.
What's the vision for the linebacker?
Yeah, look, he's a versatile player, really smart, very instinctive, and we think he could play all three positions. So we'll see how that sorts out as we get to training camp.
Were you comfortable with his medical history?
Yeah, we talked a lot about it. Our doctors obviously did a pretty thorough exam. We're talking about the shoulders, and he's had a history of that, and yet, look, they felt good about it. So do we. But obviously, you want a player to be available, and like I said, our doctors, give us a thumbs up.
Other than the versatility, what did you think was special about him?
He's a very instinctive player. I think that probably what jumps out at you. He's very smart, instinctive. I think I've said that 3 times now. And he's a playmaker. So the only issue is that his durability. Hasn't been what he wants and what we would want in his college career. But we feel comfortable with the reports we got.
Mickey.
All right, little Mickey Loomis. We'll see what happens. The proof will be on Sundays or Monday night when they open in the fall.
And, they're playing Minnesota, and they scheduled that before the Adrian Peterson trade, like they didn't know that was going to happen. Hint, hint. Yeah. Mickey Loomis, look, he saved Tom Benson a lot of money early on in his career. Tom Benson's never forgotten him. He's moved him up into the hierarchy. He's in positive position with the Saints/Pelicans. Good guy.
There you go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, hadn't been able to do this in a couple of weeks because of baseball games, but we can do it tonight. We're going to visit with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. We'll get Brian's thoughts on the LSU Tigers and much, much more right after this pause on Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
If you've been injured in an accident and you won your case, we can get you your cash fast.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
If you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, Penn Funding can get you paid in one lump sum.
Instead of my small monthly payments, Penn Funding got me my money when I needed it the most.
Turn your small monthly settlement payments into one large cash payoff right now. If your case is settled, you qualify. And no one can get your money faster than Penn Funding. There's no risk, obligation, or out-of-pocket cost when you make this life-changing call.
I called, answered the questions, and received my cash payoff quickly.
Need cash for your children? To fix your car, pay the bills. If your case is settled and you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, it's your money. Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-825-1325, 800-825-1325.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
DLA Painting Incorporated is your company for professional painting, serving the greater Baton Rouge area and South Louisiana for over 20 years. Ready to paint for those recovering from flood, residential repaint, commercial painting, any size job, free estimates. Customer satisfaction is our highest priority. Call 225-505-8785. DLA Painting Incorporated, fully insured. Call Dennis at DLA Painting at 225-505-8785.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source. We continue with Tigers Roar right now. It's our pleasure to be joined by Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Brian's been busy a lot of weeks with Tiger Baseball, but it works tonight. Brian, good evening. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Good to see you, man.
Brian, the draft has come and gone. LSU well represented in the draft and the free agency signings. Your overall thoughts of LSU and how it related to this year's NFL draft?
Well, I really think that most of the players probably went about where they were expected, with the exception of Malachi Dupree. I think everybody knew that Leonard Fournette and Jamal Adams were going to be early first-round picks, and they were. Tre'Davious White, end of first, early second, and he went at the end of the first. Most Ethan Posick, second round, that was expected. Duke Riley, third round, that was probably expected. Kendall Beckwith was another one, end of third, early fourth, and he ended up last pick of the third round. So, those guys, the six that went in the first three rounds, really were pretty much as expected. Davin Gottschall going in the 5th round, maybe a little bit lower than expected. And, of course, then Malachi Dupree, almost going undrafted. That was probably the biggest surprise. But, all it takes for you to get is to get picked, and then you get into a camp and see what you can do. So 8 guys for LSU. Only 2 other times in history have they had more than 8 players selected. Now, of course, you can certainly say this. Well, this team had 8 players selected, and it lost 4 games last year. And when you look at, they lost to Alabama. They had 10 guys drafted. They lost to Florida. They had 8 guys drafted. The 2 losses where you look at, how did they lose to these teams, were certainly the Wisconsin game and the Auburn game. Auburn had 4 guys drafted. Wisconsin had 3. Those 2 of Wisconsin's 3 picks were first-rounders. But still, you look at that, and, those were the 2 games that you say from a talent standpoint LSU should not have lost. And, of course, those 2 losses in September are the reason why Les Miles is not the head coach at LSU right now.
Brian, 5 years from now, which LSU Tiger in the NFL do you think we'll be talking about the most as having the most successful 5-year stint in the NFL?
Of these guys who were picked this year? Well, I don't think it's going to be Leonard Fournette. I can see Jamal Adams, and I think Tre'Davious White can end up being, he's not a number 1 corner. In fact, he could end up being a nickelback. So maybe Jamal Adams. Look, I don't know if Duke Riley can. I don't think Duke Riley is quite as good a player as Deion Jones from pure talent. Okay. So I don't know if he'll have the type of rookie year that Deion Jones had with the Falcons. Ethan Posick, again, he's going to have to find a position. Everybody talks about his strength is his versatility.
Right.
Beckwith, you got questions with his health, and then you got Gottschall and Dupree. So I'd probably say Jamal Adams.
Okay, makes sense. I agree.
I'd kind of go with Adams there, and, reserve the right to be wrong. Which
LSU was pushing that they were going to hope to get double-digit players drafted, 10 to 11, and set the all-time record. That didn't come to fruition. Did you see someone that ended up being an undrafted free agent signing that you thought would go into the draft?
I thought maybe Durrell would get picked late.
Okay.
I thought that they could get to 9 with Durrell as being a 7th round pick. I didn't know if they, maybe Lewis Neal and Tayshawn Bauer would probably be the next 2 guys, and I just didn't. Neal really is a guy without a position, and Bauer's sort of in the same boat. So I thought they could get to 9 with Durrell.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that's we'll see. Time will tell on all of that stuff. Right now, Brian, LSU diving into football recruiting. A lot of the high school teams have begun spring football practice. Many will begin next week. And these coaches are traveling and visiting everywhere.
Yeah, they're trying to, put together, well, it's not just put together the 2018 class, it's also looking at guys for 2019 and 2020. So, LSU's got, most of its class, right now, you got to wait and see how they have plenty of commitments right now. We'll have to see how that holds on. But, look, LSU has to stock its roster. They need running backs. Certainly they need quarterbacks. And, I think they need some help on the line. So, there's certainly, you can't go more than, you really can't have any bad year from a recruiting standpoint if you expect to, contend for, a conference championship. And look, LSU the last 3 years, they have not been a contender for a conference title. You're talking about it. The last 3 years, their SEC record is 14-10. Yeah. So that is far away from what you have to do if you're going to win a division.
We're visiting with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Brian, we switched.
Before we switch, Brian, why didn't you and I and Tommy get in the college football coaching business? I mean, $11 million for a year for my boy up there in Tuscaloosa? Huh? Man.
Well, that's just because of his bonus he's getting this year. He's not really.
I know. But still, would you turn that down?
No. I'm sure. And Nick, look, one thing about Nick, he's always trying to get more money.
Yep.
And, because of his success, he's able to do that. Look, this is what Nick has done in the SEC. He's turned the SEC into Alabama and a bunch of 8.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
You're
Okay.
right. Brian, as we switch gears to the Diamond, speaking of Alabama, Brian, we've seen thousands of baseball games in our lifetime. That's a bad baseball team at Alabama this year. LSU needed to go over there and win 3, and they did, to set up this upcoming 8-game homestand with a lot in front of them, with 3 very tough series. South Carolina, I know their ace is hurt and out for the year, the Schmidt kid. But what do you see with LSU to sweep against Bama, and what's in front of them?
Well, look, LSU is, in the midst of this mad scramble for the SEC title. 3 teams at 14-7 and 4 teams at 13-8. But LSU's played the teams that are right now 13 and 14 in the conference, Georgia and Alabama, and they are 6-0 against those 2, and are 7-8 against everybody else that plays. So, I mean, you have to beat the bad teams and then hope you play 500 against the good teams. And LSU is 8-1 against second division teams and 5-7 against the first division teams so far this year. And if you look at the schedule, first of all, you're talking about what does LSU have to do to win the SEC, which would obviously wrap up a national seed. Well, you look at what everybody has, and the team that's in the best shape to win the SEC is Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Kentucky's at 14-7. They play Georgia in Lexington this week, which you figured, well, they certainly have a chance to sweep that. And then they have Tennessee at home in Lexington next week. So you're talking about Kentucky. They could easily be 20-7 going into the last weekend, which is a series at Florida. So let's just say they win 1 there. Well, Kentucky's got 21 wins.
Uh-huh.
Well, for LSU to get to 21, they got to win 8 out of 9, which is going to be pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if LSU can win the conference championship. I think this is, you're talking about, can LSU be a national seed? Well, I really think it's going to be hard because I believe the SEC is only going to get 2 national seeds. Kentucky and Florida certainly have favorable schedules in the last 3 weeks where they can certainly finish with as good a record, if not better, than LSU. And then LSU lost series to both those teams. So, I don't know if LSU can be a national seed. I think they got to worry about, let's just make sure we're hosting. And I think the best way for LSU to host is to be the best team out of the West. So they need to make sure they win the West. And then, of course, in saying all this, you still have a chance in the SEC tournament, and things can change there. So, I think if you'd asked me today, what do I think LSU end up doing? I think I'm going to say, well, they can maybe go 7-2 down the stretch, and then win 2-3 games in the SEC tournament, and that may mean they'll be a regional host, but not necessarily a national seed.
Brian Lazar, kind enough to join us, TigerBait.com. LSU will be honoring the 1997 World Series Championship Club, a back-to-back World Series champion. They had to kind of reinvent themselves because they lost so many players from the 96 team. What do you remember the most about that 97 team? Boy, they could hit the ball, couldn't they?
Plenty of home runs.
Yeah.
And, bats and other reasons of why. I think that they hit 188 home runs.
Wow. Jeez.
It was the year Brandon Larson had the great one season as a JC transfer. I think he hit 41 home runs, something like that, or right around 40.
Was that the most prolific individual season by an LSU player, maybe in its history?
Probably so.
Okay.
Probably so. And Larson, he got drafted by the Reds, and he was up a little bit, not a whole lot. So it wasn't like he was,
And it's prolific because they won the title.
Right.
If they don't
But
win
he
the
hit
title.
40 home runs over 118 RBIs.
Right. Everybody in the uniform hit at least one. There was not a player on the roster, not counting the pitchers, who didn't hit a bomb.
I miss those days. I miss when the bat was flying out the yard.
The bat and other
The ball
things.
was flying out the yard. Yeah.
As Brian said, a few other things.
What are you insinuating, Brian?
Starts with a C.
Did I say that? I don't recall me saying that.
There you go. That's good stuff. Well, hey, 8 games at home coming up. 2 of them are non-conference, so Tiger fans need to get out there. And, of course, Brian, I know you'll be there. Brian, tell the people that are watching this, what's the very latest at TigerBait.com?
www.tigerbait.com. Baseball stories, football stories up this week. Doing some stuff, wrapping up, spring football, and a state of where the team stands, getting ready to go to the summer. And, certainly the latest in recruiting, we'll have it on the site.
Mike Scarborough and company. Right?
All right, Brian, thank you so much. Enjoyed the visit.
What is he insinuating?
Okay, guys, later.
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
Hey, a couple other quick notes. LSU has got a new basketball player, Coach Will Wade, who welcomed his daughter into the world now that he's been in Baton Rouge. Well, he reaches back over to North Texas. This North Texas thing keeps coming up, okay? And he hired Tony Benford, who had been the head coach over there. Tony Benford hired a Dallas Carter High School product, played for him, and now he's going to come contingent upon graduating into Baton Rouge. That's Combs. I think we have a picture of him here. He's going to come in. He's a 6'7" power forward.
He averaged 14 points and about 10 rebounds, averaged a double-double his sophomore year. As a junior, got hurt, didn't get to play that much, doesn't have any outside game whatsoever. He's an inside player. He's going to pick up the garbage off the glass. He's going to play hard. He's going to run the floor. He'll defend. That puts them at 14 scholarships. You're only allowed 13 in college basketball. Somebody will not be back next year for the LSU Tigers, and they're in the hunt for another player who played, a 6'5" guard who declared for the 2017 NBA draft, took his name out of the draft. He's visited Georgetown, Louisville. He played at, Anyway, and he's coming to visit LSU as well.
And you can have more than 13 on the roster. They just can only use 13 scholarships.
Who's going to walk on?
Am I correct that in basketball, it's all full scholarships,
full
like
scholarship,
football?
yes.
It's football at the D1.
You can't give half to this guy and half to that guy.
In the FCS, you can break up a few of them in football and other sports, whatever.
So somebody will be, attrition will hit.
And one other thing from down in New Orleans, we don't talk a lot of golf here, but when the PGA Tour comes to New Orleans or to the West Bank in Avondale, which they do at the end of April each and every year, a tournament that changed the format. First time since 1981 that there was a team format in a regular PGA Tour event.
Thank you, PGA
Not
Tour.
a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup. Jonas Blixt and Cameron Smith had a win on a Monday morning playoff down at the TPC of Louisiana in Avondale. Everything I read, Jordy, the format was very well received by all of the players, and they think this will be the New Orleans thing. They had a very strong field at the tournament this year. Field is judged by how many in the top 50 are there, and they expect that to continue. And this may be a little boost for that PGA Tour stop in New Orleans. They always got Jazz Fest going on, golf. I mean, it's a huge time in the Crescent City.
The PGA went to Zurich and said, what do you think about this? Zurich said, let's do it. The team concept, they had 7 of the top 10 players, and they're going to get more than that next year. Brilliant. The fans loved it. The players loved it. And so you put that all together, that's a winning combination. Way to go, Zurich Classic. 4 extra holes on a Monday morning to decide the champ.
5th year in a row they had a rain interruption. But here's what I did read one player said, and I apologize for not remembering which player said this, said, I don't want to do this format every week, but it's great to do it
change
once,
it up.
You know, so I think that'll stick. That right there. No, they don't want that every week.
No.
And the other guy said, what's good about this is you get to share the grief with your teammate, but then it's double the joy when something good happens.
And if you're not playing good and your teammate's playing great, you still got a chance.
We'll take a break, come back, go over a few more things here on Tigers Roar with Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Krysan. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with more Tigers Roar.
I want to go play now. You and me partners.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name's Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal and she makes your dreams come true.
Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
We continue with Tigers Roar, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, where they got it going on with the great platter here of boudin and catfish and lots of other things at Tremonti.
Every day there's a special. Just go to the website, tremontis.com. The phone number 751-7665. You can call them up. You want to have a big catering event, your daughter or son are graduating, you want to throw a big crawfish boil, they'll take care of everything for you. They have crawfish every day. They've got their Chairman's Reserve beef, second to none. Their pre-made meals, their crawfish fettuccine, their lasagna, their stuffed bell peppers. It's so simple. You stick it in the oven, your family's going to love you. They got everything you can imagine, fine wines, fine spirits, and they can provide platters like they provided for us tonight with the catfish. The crew will absolutely devour as soon as we are off the air at about 10 o'clock tonight. So Tremonti's, the best meat and seafood market in Baton Rouge. Go to tremontis.com.
Very good. All right, quickly, we want to take a look at the guys the Saints drafted. They had those picks. We all talked about it as we looked at two guys in the first round, Lattimore and Ramchick. We talked about safety Marcus Williams, Kamara, we spoke about him, Anzalone from Florida.
And some pass rushers.
Henderson, who led the nation in blocked field goals last year, and a guy that didn't play much at Miami, but supposedly has a lot of upside. That's the 7 picks that the Saints made in the draft. Your thoughts?
Some positions of need. I like Lattimore if they can keep the hamstrings. And look, he's been cleared by the docs to go from there. I think I'm there. They're very high on Williams. I like Kamara. The big question mark, can Henderson and Muhammad be that impact pass rusher?
Well, but the thing about it, too, they're around 6 and 7, so if it doesn't work out, it's a little risk-reward thing there. Now, there were a couple other guys from Louisiana that were drafted. Tanzel Smart, defensive tackle from Baton Rouge, who played down at Tulane, goes in the 6th round to the Rams. Elijah McGuire, incredible running back from Mark Hudspeth's Raging Cajuns over at ULL. He goes to the Jets in the 6th round. Carlos Henderson, a running back at McDonough 35. Tech makes him a wide receiver, and he puts up great numbers.
Good player.
Real good numbers. He goes in round 3 to the Broncos. He'll make that team. And then Chad Williams from Grambling, also in round 3 as a wide receiver. That's 2 guys that I was told about during the fall. Turns out that, some of those at round 3, the Broncos and the Cards were told about him as well.
Didn't somebody pick up Anthony Jennings, like the Jets, I think?
I didn't see that one.
Anthony Jennings was picked up.
There's a lot of free agents.
Crazy.
We couldn't get into them all. I can tell you Leonard Tillery of the Southern Jaguars signed a free agent deal with the Los Angeles Rams.
That Lightning, that might be our cue to get on out of here.
Might be a cue. Well, we're getting close right here. I mean, no question about that. Jordy, again, Original Aaron's Wednesday. We appreciate you watching it. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Watch it at your convenience right there. The whole show's there. WHNO TV Channel 20 in New Orleans, ETEL Cable, of course, Pelican Sports TV. And we have rolled through another one, and this platter from Tremonti's is in jeopardy.
NBA playoffs resume. Great stuff, great action. It seems like a collision course between the Warriors and the Cavaliers, but I do believe Houston is going to provide us an interesting battle. I think they'll get past San Antonio. And it looks like Boston's got Washington kind of figured out. So look for the Celtics against the Cavaliers. And as we go from 8 to 4 to 2,
and I think
Golden State, baby.
Attention, I think they'll get, those casual fans that don't watch all year. Now they want to watch. It's a different game. The intensity in a playoff game, especially now that we're deep into the playoffs, it's a different basketball game than they play in November or December. Am I correct?
No question about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, fun time if you're an NBA fan. Of course, the Kentucky Derby's coming up. The Run for the Roses on Saturday.
Come on, Gervin, Louisiana Derby winner. Come on, Gervin.
Field of 20 horses.
About 15
will
to
take
1.
off the first leg of the Triple Crown. So we'll see how all that goes. It's a sports spectacle. I'm not a big horse racing fan. I can't say that, but I like watching.
It's like the Olympics.
Derby.
You only see 3 races a year. The Olympics comes once every 4 years, so that's why it catches my attention.
You got to watch it. Once again, don't forget to support the local radio station. Don't forget Jordy's program over in the Lafayette market.
103.7 The Game. 103.7 FM. 103.7 FM. And 2 to 4.
2 to 4, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Okay,
correct.
Good stuff. And then, of course, WUBR in Baton Rouge, the CBS Sports Radio affiliate. Post-game show this week about 5 o'clock or 5:15, right after Game 3 of LSU and South Carolina, radio and TV. Post-game show this Sunday, live at about 5:15.
They're all at the post. And the crew's getting ready to attack in 3.
Tremonti's about to
and
go
they're
down.
off.
Jordy Helper and Tommy Christ saying thank you for watching Tigers Roar.
If you've been injured in an accident and you won your case, we can get you your cash fast.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
If you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, Penn Funding can get you paid in one lump sum.
Instead of my small monthly payments, Penn Funding got me my money when I needed it the most.
Turn your small monthly settlement payments into one large cash payoff right now. If your case is settled, you qualify. And no one can get your money faster than Penn Funding. There's no risk, obligation, or out-of-pocket cost when you make this life-changing call.
I called, answered the questions, and received my cash payoff quickly.
Need cash for your children? To fix your car, pay the bills. If your case is settled and you're a victim of an accident, bad drug case, or any other legal settlement, it's your money. Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-825-1325, 800-825-1325.